Welcome back, Africa. I'm your host again on this property show hour, Lerato Kevin Malope, also known in the property sector as Kevin Ham. I'm with Aus Posha, the CEO of Property Sector Charter.
We did the first study about 3 years ago, and the first study told us the property sector was 4.9 trillion.
4.9 trillion. Yes.
We revised the study recently, in June and in July 2016. The new study revealed that the market has grown by just close to 1 trillion to 5.8 trillion.
That's a lot of chick.
Yes, it's a lot of zeros. Almost when I do my career week, I keep on saying to my learners, do you know 5 million? Add another 3 zeros.
Yeah.
That adds to 1 billion. Add another 3 more zeros, it will add to 1 trillion. So
yes.
When you start to see those zeros, so it's actually 5.8 trillion. And that 5.8 trillion is made up of 4 segments. One is the commercial segment, residential segment, public segment, and zoned land. So, and that is the scope of property.
Yes.
So when we talk commercial is 1.3 trillion of the 5.8 trillion.
Okay.
So, and it's made up of 4 sub-segments within the trillion, and just to actually give you an idea. So you've got this total segment that's 5.8 trillion.
Yes.
So this 5.8 trillion has got the commercial segment, 1.3 trillion, and it's made up of 4 segments. One is retail. The other one is office space, the other one is industrial, and the other one is hotel. And
yes.
We'll talk about the size of the 4.8 trillion. So it's 1.8 trillion. So you get to the houses, which is residential. The residential is 3.9 trillion, and it's made up really of 6.1 million houses that are in South Africa.
6.1
million houses.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of these things, all of these are formal houses that are registered with the Deeds Office.
Yes.
But you do have informal houses that are not registered with the Deeds Office, but they are formalized informal houses. So somebody like Disploat or Alexander, it's formalized, even though each house is not registered by the deeds, but it's formalized. So that's informal, formal house.
Yes.
Houses. You do have informal. You know, they call it by pay. You know, the one that come and go every day.
Yes.
But there's about 543,000 of those houses that are informal, formal. You know, so that 4.9 trillion. The public sector is made up. It's actually 237 billion, and you also have zoned land, which is 520 billion rand. So, and that all of that, if you add up the 1.3 trillion from the commercial, 3.9 trillion from residential, 237 billion from the public sector, and 520 billion from public sector, it gives you
that 5.8
trillion. That's a market size. So if I were to put value in every single property that I see, that's how much it is. So in the commercial, which is made up of the 1.3 trillion, I mean, the driver there is retail. It's 537 billion rand.
Yes.
And really, and strangely enough, actually, mind-boggling to say the least, that South Africa is the 6th biggest country with the number of malls. And this is after US, UK, Canada, Japan, and China. We are the 6th.
Wow.
So, I mean, and you can see in the development number of malls. I don't know what we've heard about this mall, but I'm hoping in the process that with these malls, that we are able, I mean, there's a number of disruptions, there's a number of changes in the economy that are happening. I mean, I went to a shopping center the other day where it has a kiosk. It's a Levi kiosk. It takes 258 measurements of you. You press the thing, that Levi takes your measurements, and you choose the color, you choose the shape, that gene will be in your house in 48 hours. So the point is that with industrial,
this is where the ICT comes in as well.
Where ICT is coming in. But that's when we talk about industrial revolution. The way the world is going is that you probably have done banking very recently, but you probably haven't gone to a branch.
Yes.
Same thing. We continue to do shopping, but I don't need to go to a shopping center.
In fact, I was thinking about it the other day. I went to the bank only to do the FICA, and that was after probably 6 months. I was like, wow, this because of they called me to come do some FICA thing. Yes.
So I think those are the developments that are happening, and I'm hoping we are also catching up with all of those things. But I think the point of understanding the property sector and its size, it's actually actually quite huge. I mean, at the time when it was also the 4.9 trillion, we knew that our contribution to the GDP was 191 billion rand, which was about 5% of the GDP.
Yeah.
We contribute 46 billion rand to the fiscus. I mean, the property pays tax through the transaction, through the rates
Which
and
is, of course,
taxes,
the
through
transfer
the
duty
VATs and
tax.
things. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
46 billion rand is also a direct contribution to the. So it is a huge sector. So it cannot be ignored. We have to focus on transformation in
Yes.
order to drive this on. So the question, and coming up towards the last segment of the interview, really is that where are we in terms of transformation? We've just done the state of transformation report. We are doing relatively well in socio-economic development, which is CSI, and enterprise development.
Yes.
We haven't done as well, but we are not far from the target. We've done 82%, which is on procurement and ownership.
Okay.
Where we are struggling and we need to still put a lot of effort is employment equity, skill development, management control, and economic development. And that's why we are in a state of transformation. We can drive this transformation. We've committed, and on the last Friday, actually, we met all the banks, heads of the banks,
Yes.
that have committed to actually driving transformation, because you can understand that transformation, funding in transformation, in commercial particularly, is a big segment. It's a big enabler in order to drive that transformation. So they've committed to actually funding the transaction in the commercial sector. So we are excited about that, and we are talking, and we, as we always do, public works, state-owned enterprises, PRASA, Transnet, Eskom, in terms of how are we going to commit as part of our transformation with all the properties that we have to drive transformation. But last but not least, one of the areas that we are not doing well in all my segment is residential.
Okay.
I mean, residential, we've got about 38 estate agents, and only 10% are black.
Yes, you mean, of course, 38,000.
38,000
That's
estate
correct, yes,
agents,
yes.
and only 10% are black.
And we need to change this
And we
number.
need to change that. And
Yes.
the point is, no doubt whatsoever, in the next 10, 15 years, the housing market is driven by affordable housing. And affordable housing, it's a lot of, especially black people, that are owning property for the first time, because only the conducive environment has been created for them to own.
Yes.
So therefore, it's people, it's your uncle, it's your friends, your brother's friends, or people that we know. So we've got to be penetrating the industry in a big way. We
Yes.
don't have that market. We closed the market at 52 billion rand, which is actually the commission that was made. And out of that 52 billion rand, I bet you the way the market is actually so skewed, only 20 estate agencies
Yes.
took 80% of the 52 billion rand.
Only 20.
Only 20.
And if I'm not mistaken, the last number
there's 30. Okay, in terms of agencies,
Yes.
agencies are companies. There's
Yes.
13,000.
Thank you. So 13,000, only
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
You know
We
what?
made-
That is not even a percentage.
We took 52 billion rand in terms of commission, and we used an average of 7% commission rate.
Yes.
20 took the 52 billion rand. The rest of the 12,980
Yes.
shared this. They shared the 10% of.
House Kosha, we're going to help you. In fact, one of our last segment is called, this is where we define social entrepreneurship. So my definition is of social entrepreneurship is addressing the needs, especially the spirit, body, and soul of a community while making a profit needed for business expansion. So as APR and NYT Properties, we give theoretical and practical real estate knowledge needed for sound property investment and long-term property ownership, especially when we're giving our people, as you're saying, we'll be extending the development. RDP houses are coming. People also need to understand what that house really means. Otherwise, they're going to get it and really sell it the next day. You understand?
Okay.
But through this station, as Portia, as we say, we are willing to invite you, any of your players, any of your links, bring them on board. We're going to give you this airtime. We're going to educate Africa. We're going to improve this number that you have set, so that next time you would have transformed the sector as you have been mandated. You know, it's a calling. It's a burden that you have in your spirit to try and change this thing. So AusPosha will be helping you. But as you can conclude, go ahead. I just needed to put this forth and say, AusPosha, we are here to back you up.
Yeah. And I think as I conclude, let me re-emphasize the importance of property. Property is the beginning and the end of wealth. The
Yes.
people that